Peter Simonich was the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I have ever met. He was successful with all women for that matter, but there was a special challenge. To rich, prominent women married to rich, prominent men. I could never do him any justice. Let me tell you in his own words. If I may say so myself, I am the greatest seducer of other men's wives I've ever met. I say this not boastfully, mind you, but as a matter of record. The staggering figures speak for themselves. For those interested in playing this highly satisfying but often dangerous game, I urge you to take out a pen and paper and take notes. I'm going to explain my method. Married women may do likewise, but it will do them little good if they happen to be the chosen victim. My method has never failed. Now, there are 3 vital characteristics needed. They are patience, more patience, and still more patience. For those who do not have the strength to wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling. Rowing, perhaps. Seducing isn't for you. Now then, to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, must, keep as far away from her as possible. Pay her practically no attention at all. Ignore her if you must. We will get to her through her husband. You are fortunate today that this week I am madly and deeply in love. My heart pounds with excitement knowing that she will pass through this garden in a few moments with her husband. Every fibre in my being tells me to throw my arms around her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But notice how a master is. I shall be cool, almost to the point of freezing. My heart of hearts and stops approaching.
Peter Simonich, fancy meeting you here.
Oh, my dear Nikolaish, how good to see you. You're looking well. Notice I'm not looking for you.
Thank you. And you gay devil, you're always looking well. Excuse me, have you met my wife, Irina? Of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner at the Vesnons. Irina, I don't know what this charmer said to her at dinner, but I must warn you, he's a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say for you.
You're exaggerating, madame. Good to see you again.
We were just taking a stroll. If you're not busy, why don't you walk with us?
That's very kind of you. But as a matter of fact, I'm riveted to this spot. A new romance has just entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Until she is out of my sight, I will be incapable of movement. Too much, do you think? As I said, be patient.
Fantastic! You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Suppose magnificent. Suppose glorious. And you will suppose correctly.
Any complications?
As usual, a husband. I'm afraid my cause looks hopeless.
Nonsense. I'm placing my money on you, Peter. And you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, we're off. Good hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
No. Beautifully done, don't you think? I'm sometimes awed by the work of a true professional. Did you notice our eyes barely met? We exchanged hardly a word, and yet how much of me she knows already. A, I'm a popular bachelor. B, a man in love, always titillating to romantic women. C, a gifted sportsman, a nice contrast to her sedentary husband. And D, and this is most important, a dangerous man with the ladies. Quite frankly, she is disgusted by me. A, because I'm a braggart and a scoundrel. B, because I'm shamelessly frank to my intentions. And C, because she thinks she's not the one I'm interested in. Forgive me if I'm overcome by my own beauty. Oh, by the way, are you getting all this down? It gets tricky from here on in. Now, the next step, hypnosis. Witness as I accidentally run into her husband one day at the club.
Peter, you're looking well. I take it your pursuit isn't going well.
Is it that obvious, Nikki? I'm doomed. I haven't seen her since the last I saw you and your dear wife. I sleep little and eat less. I had all my shirt collars taken in a half minute. Oh, Nikki, why do I waste my valuable youth chasing women I can never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What's there about me that you envy?
Your marriage. A charming woman your wife, let me tell you.
Really? What's there that fascinates you so about her?
Her grace. Her quiet charm. But mostly it's the way she looks at you. Ah, if someone would only look at me like that. It must send a quiver through your entire body.
Quivers? No, not really.
A tingle, perhaps. Don't say you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Of course. By all means. I tingle all the time.
She's an exceptional woman, Nikki. Believe that from a lonely bachelor. Glad fate gave you a wife like that.
Perhaps fate will be as kind to you.
That's what I'm counting on. Good heavens! I'm late for a doctor's appointment.
What's he treating you for?
Melancholy. Please say hello to your extraordinary wife, but I urge you, do not repeat our conversation. It might damage her fragile sensitivities. Oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? There's more work to be done, but not by me. That task falls on my aid and accomplice. Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Simonich today.
By the way, I saw Peter Seminich today.
Who?
Peter Seminich, the bachelor. We met him in the gardens last week. That attractive fellow, you remember.
I remember what a lonesome man he is.
You may not think so when you hear what he had to say about you.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
He spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm, and he seemed to feel you were capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. He certainly had a lot to say about you. He went on and on.
What else?
Hmm?
What else do you have to say about it?
Peter?
Ever that lonesome man's name is. What else does Peter Simonich say about me?
Well, that's more or less it, what I told you.
But you said he went on and on.
He did.
But you stopped. If he went on and on, don't stop. If you go on and on, let's go again.
Well, he said how much he envied me, how much he wished someone would look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
Well, that day in the gardens, he must have been looking at you while you were looking at me. It sent a tingle through my whole body.
The way I looked at you.
Exactly, my precious.
But you were looking at him. You couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because he made me so nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. He must have tingled for some other reason.
It's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating. I thought it would please you.
Well, it doesn't. I'd rather you not tell me such stories. Are you planning to see me again soon?
Tomorrow for lunch.
Well, I'd rather not for the schedule. Tell me. And at dinner, you can tell me what you think. Good night.
Good night, Louise.
Good night, my love. I'm spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded in not only piquing her interest, but causing her heart to flutter at the mere mention of my name. The same man she called lonesome not 2 minutes ago. All this was accomplished, mind you, while I was home and taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but productive. By the way, old man, I ran into a crosswalk yesterday. It seems he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince to paint a typical Russian beauty. He asked me to keep an eye out for a model for him. I said I knew the exact woman, but I didn't dare ask her myself. What do you think about asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
To be the model, of course. It would be a damn shame if that exquisite face gives you a chance to become immortalized for the entire world.
For all the world? Really? I see what you mean.
And why don't you go discuss it with her?
Good idea. I'll discuss it with her. I said I would discuss it with you. What do you think?
I think it's nonsense. How do you put it to me? I mean, did he actually say a typical Russian movie?
Precisely. And that it would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed its chance to be immortalized for all the world. That's exactly what he said.
He gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words. You didn't leave anything out.
Oh yes. That lovely face. I left out that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
He does go on, doesn't he? How many times did he say? Once, twice, less.
Let me think. It's hard to remember.
Not important. But in the future, I wish you'd like me to know.
Have you seen me near her? Have you heard me speak to her? Has any correspondence passed between us? No, my dear pupils, and yet she hangs on my every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? If we apply this treatment for 2 to 3 weeks, her resistance is weakening, weakening, weakening.
His mind is elsewhere, if you ask me. On some woman from the looks of him.
What? What woman? Has he mentioned anyone in particular?
Oh no. He's too discreet for that. He'll protect your good name at any cost. Instead he talks of you all day. Poor fool. I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
Nicky, it's really none of our concern. Did you ask him to dinner tomorrow?
He's busy.
The day after then?
He's busy.
Well, next week, next month? When? Doesn't the man eat?
He says he's involved on a very important project. It will be months before he can see us. He did say with patience and persistence, good things will come to him. By the way, he thinks you should go on the stage.
Stage? Me on the stage? Why in heaven's name?
He said, just a moment. I don't want to misquote him.
No, take your time. Try to get it as accurately as possible.
Oh yes. He said with such an attractive appearance, such intelligence, sensitiveness, it would be a sin for her to be just a housewife.
Dear, he said that?
And that ordinary demands don't exist for such women.
Nicky, I don't think I want to hear anymore.
Natures like that should not be bound by time and space.
Nicky, I implore you, please stop.
And then he says, if I weren't so busy, I'd take her away from you.
He said that.
That's right there.
What was it?
Well, I said, take her then. I'm not going to fight a duel over her.
Nicky, you mustn't speculate anymore. I beg of you not to mention my name to him ever again.
But I don't, my love. He's the one who always brings up the subject. He actually accused me of not understanding you. He shouted at me. She's an exquisite creature, strong, seeking a way out. If I were Turgenev, I would write a novel. The Passionate Angel, I would call it. The man is weird. Definitely weird.
He's delivering my love letters, sealing them with kisses. He calls me weird. I ask you, now, let's see what we've got so far. She's definitely consumed with a passion to meet me. Her young, disinterested husband transmits my remarks, but it is my voice she hears, my words that sing in her heart. Sweet poison is doing its work. I'm relentless. There is no room for mercy in the seducing business. Witness the final stroke. For the faint-hearted, I urge you, look away.
No, Nicky, I don't want to hear. Not another word from you, nothing.
But exactly. That's what he said. He begged me to tell you nothing. He knew because of your sweet, sensitive nature, you would worry to hear of someone else's distress.
Is it a threat?
Worse, he's gloomy, morose, in the depths of despair.
Why? What's the matter?
Loneliness. He says he has no relatives, no true friends, not a soul who understands him.
But doesn't he know how much we understand him perfectly? Doesn't he know how much we appreciate him and commune with him daily? Doesn't he know how much we yearn to be with him? You and I.
I tried to make that clear. I again urged him to come home to dinner with me, but he says he can't face people. He's so depressed, he can't stay home. He paces in the public gardens where we met him every night.
What time?
Between 8 and 9. By the way, we're invited to the Boscovex tomorrow. Is 8 o'clock all right for you?
No, I'm visiting Aunt Sophia tomorrow. She's ill. I'll be there around 9. Or a little after.
share this honor with my good friend and collaborator, her husband. He wooed her so successfully that there is no carriage fast enough for her to be in my arms. Observe, she ran all the way. Now, for the conclusion. You will understand I ask you to busy yourselves with your programs as such. These next few moments are private, and I am, after all, a gentleman. My dear sweet angel. At last I can speak the words I've longed.
No, not a word. Oh, please, I couldn't bear it. Not until you heard what's in my heart. For weeks I've been in torment. You've used my husband as a clever and devious device to drag my passion, which I freely admitted in my adornment these past 7 years. But in your sincere note, you've awakened in me desires and longings I never dreamt were possible. You appeal to my vanity, and I succumb. You bestow my thoughts with untold pleasures, and I listen. You attack my every vulnerability, and I surrender. I am here, Peterson, if you want. But let me add this. I love my husband dearly. He is not a passionate man, or even remotely romantic. Our life together reaches neither the heights of ecstasy nor the depths of anguish. We have an easy marriage, utterly and comfortable. I am accepting this condition in the full measure of his devoted love. To you now, knowing that once you take me in your arms, my life and my marriage with Nicky will be destroyed for all time. I am too weak and too selfish to meet that choice. I rely on your strength of character. The option is yours, my dear Peter. Whichever one you choose will make me both miserable and eternally grateful. I beg of you not to use me as a muse. Although even with that knowledge, I would not refuse you. I am yours to do as you will, Peterson, with it. If you want me, open your arms now, and I will come to you. If you love me, then turn your back, and I will leave, and never see or speak to you again. In short, Stewart, sweetest love of my life, I await your decision. God bless you, Peterson. I wish life brings you the happiness you've just brought to me.
Peter Simonich, the former seducer of other men's wives, turned his attentions to unmarried single women only, until one day the perfect girl came along and the confirmed bachelor married at last. He is to this day a completely happy man, except on occasions when some dashing officer tells him how attractive he finds his young, lovely wife.